Hello and welcome to NerdVsWorld, episode 70, Nerd by Nerdwest. I'm Brendan.
I'm Spindles.
And on today's show we've got movie reviews for Morgan, we've got a list of the first wave of returning shows of the US fall TV season,
Exactly how much Attack on Titan one can fit in one's face over the course of a weekend.
The answer might surprise you. That's our clickbait link. And then a few shout outs to various people and where we're going to be over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, oh absolutely, yes, because we're ramping up for EGX.
Yeah.
Yes, if you're going to EGX, we're currently figuring out who we're going to go and see and what we're going to do. So, if you're around at EGX, then come and say hey at some point. We'll be there playing lots and lots of games.
We will. Right. Should we start with the film review?
Absolutely, mate. Go for it.
Okay, so I saw a film called Morgan last week. I had come across it purely by chance a while back, and I said no advertising for it, and it got a 1 week release at The View, and after seeing it I can kind of see why.
Okay.
It's another artificial intelligence type of film,
right?
But rather than a robot, it's a human embryo that's been grown and infused with nanites to make them this extra thing. And it's about the evaluation of the latest model, a girl called Morgan, after she rips out the eye of one of the people caring for her. Now, it suffers in the exact same places that all high concept sci-fi to do with artificial intelligence tends to suffer, in that it has to hit tropes that have already been done better by every Star Trek TNG episode involving Data, Blade Runner and Bicentennial Man.
Right.
So I think with these sort of films now, it's just seeing how well it hits them, and this one doesn't hit them very well at all. It's kind of a plodding and meandering film that just sort of crashes towards its inevitable plot twist that actually she's been specifically designed to be a weapon, and all the violent behaviour that's going on is perfectly normal and part of the process. And actually, Kate O'Mara's character, who's been sent to evaluate her, is an earlier model of the exact same assassin-based bred robot,
right?
Stroke human cyborg. It looks good. Some of the violence is weirdly compelling. It's a visceral sort of film in that regard, but it just falls down completely in terms of its ending being far too obviously telegraphed at certain points.
Was it just the fact it was about AI that drove you to see it, or yeah? Okay.
I went to see it purely off that. I did it before with The Machine, Ex Machina. There's a lot of them. Transcendence, which was pretty shit. Lucy, which was kind of okay, but the end was a bit of a wibble. So there's been a lot of them recently, and in its defence, the fact that it wasn't a robot and it wasn't trying to pass a Turing test type of thing, it was literally someone bred and developed to be this way, was an interesting take on the AI idea.
Oh, actually, that's one of the games we're going to get to play at EGX. Yeah, the Turing test.
Nice.
Which is a Square Enix one.
Ah, cool. Yeah.
Sorry.
It was a nice take on it, but it just seemed to lack.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'm kind of the same with time travel movies, or kind of like weird alternate dimension ones, because I've watched quite a few recently on Netflix, because a few of them have popped up. I'm trying to remember the names of them now. I think there's Synchronicity is one, and I think that's with Nicholas Brendan and a whole bunch of other people who meet up for a dinner party, and then the lights go out and then weird things start happening, and then they start seeing themselves and it all goes a bit wrong. But what I kind of liked about that one, and this is my whole kind of guerrilla filmmaking thing kicking in here, is essentially it's a LARP. So they've got a bunch of actors in and given them characters to play, and then kind of started doing random things like bashing on the doors and things just to start freaking them out, and then just dropping plot hints. So all the dialogue is pretty much improvised.
That's cool.
And then the guy who directed it is in the room playing a character as well, so he's kind of guiding the narrative on it, and then cutting it all together. So it's kind of cool. It's an interesting idea of kind of multiple realities colliding, all to do with some comet that they keep making a massive deal out of.
There's another great one on Netflix called Parallels, which is all about a tower block that transports between various different parallel universes.
Okay.
It all happens within the one tower block. That's kind of good.
Yeah, there was another time travel one as well. It was another low budget one. I can't remember. No, Primer. I love.
Primer's awesome.
That I saw years ago, and I love the shit out of Primer. Yeah. It's the kind of film that if you can get over the nigh impenetrable techno babble in the first half an hour, then it's an awesome film, and it brings up some really interesting ideas. But I think the one I watched recently was another similar kind of thing where somebody had done something and had gone back in time to try and stop himself, and then gone back and done it again. So it was all a bit just him turning up through his own time stream, trying to stop him doing things and fucking things up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll write out the name of that one. I'll stick it in the show notes. But there are a couple of interesting little time travel / parallel universe films kicking around on Netflix.
There's loads. It just seems that AI always... I mean, the tropes with the AI films, you always have the what is human trope.
Yes.
And you always have that one character who refuses to refer to the thing as a he or a she.
It's always it.
It's always an it. Yes. They're always very cold and very an it. And that's Kate O'Mara's character in this one. There's people who have developed the bond with it. But nothing really... Like, all the what it means to exist things, TNG and Data just do it better than most films have done since. And they picked up on what Blade Runner had done before that. And then, just the empathy of the machine or the AI or whatever it is. In Morgan's case, it's a different thing. It's not a robot, it's a genetically bred human. Nothing really comes close to Bicentennial Man in terms of touching the emotion of the appeal for humanity and equal rights. But yeah, this film it has some genuinely tense moments, which is why I've not slated it as badly as other films recently. There's Suicide Squad and Batman vs Superman, for example. But it just doesn't do what it should do. Yeah. Okay. There's very little argument over the it versus he she thing.
But one that would probably be fine for a watch on Netflix when it turns up in a couple of years' time.
Sure. It's one to make your own decision on, I guess. When it hits Netflix and you've got a quiet Sunday afternoon and you want a bit of a sci-fi film, then chuck it on. But it's not one I'd say go and spend £10 at the cinema for.
Okay, duly noted. Thank you for spending that £10 on my behalf.
Yeah, no worries, Dave. I watch this shit so you don't have to, mate. I don't know how much I've saved you in bad movies over the years.
I know.
Yeah. So that's that.
Cool. I don't think I've seen anything groundbreaking recently in terms of films. I did read the new Harry Potter book. That's rather good.
Oh, I haven't read that.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. Some of the characters...
Cursed Child, right?
Yeah, Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. It's an interesting story. It's got bits of time travel in it and things like that as well. So it kind of brings back some interesting moments from the original films and stuff. But I think there's some problems in how some of the characters are portrayed in it, which make them kind of seem slightly different to their film counterparts. I don't know whether it's because they were just trying to break the barrier of what they were in the films, but it's not really a spoiler, but it's Malfoy in particular is he's handled in a very bizarre way in the film, not in the film, in the book. So, but it's a very, very interesting story, and it kind of it's a nice addition to the series. I think I saw an article the other day saying that they'd picked up film rights for it and stuff, but I just cannot see it happening.
I think is it a stage play as well?
It is, yeah.
At the risk of having to return my nerd card, I've never read a Harry Potter book.
It's fine. You don't have to. There are loads of people who haven't.
Thank God for that.
No, it's totally fine. It's just, I like it as an ongoing storyline. It's an interesting progression of, a kid into adulthood having to deal with a lot of adversity.
I've enjoyed the films. A couple of friends of mine were the VFX guys on the last couple of films. But yeah, I've enjoyed those. But yeah, I never read the books. My sisters loved them.
Yeah. I like them. I even have copies of them in French.
Pourquoi?
Pretty small. To keep my hand in with French, because I used to speak it. Well, I do still speak it, but when I went over to visit my parents in France, I just saw them on the shelf and thought, it'd be interesting to read it and see what the difference is. And the interesting thing is the differences are all in the names. So in names that we've made up, or names that J.K. Rowling has made up for things like characters, like Snape, he's not called Snape, he's called Rogue. So they've changed the names of characters, and names of, like, the Burrows is called something weird as well.
Right, but they're not English words, they're made up words.
Yeah.
They should be...
Exactly.
They shouldn't get lost in translation.
Yeah, so that they just make up some other arbitrary word and put it into the French one, which is...
Fucking French.
All of it weird and very, very French.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's... they're good fun. I've got the first 5, I think, in French.
Nice.
I've made my way through all of those. I still need to get the Deathly Hallows. There you go. Interesting thing of the day. But yes, so if you are a Harry Potter fan and are one of the millions of people who can't get tickets to go and see it on stage, then read the book. It's an interesting story.
Yeah, there you go. We heard it here first. Check out the book.
Cool. That was a weird aside. Sorry about that.
That's alright.
I think it was something I was meant to mention on the last show, but then completely forgot about because we got all wrapped up in talking about cool things.
Yeah, we got sidetracked by magic for a bit as well, didn't we?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, the new set for that's coming out fairly soon. I've already booked my ticket for the Kaladesh pre-release tournaments.
I can't. There isn't enough money or time in the world. I'm afraid.
Oh no.
For me to get back into Magic.
Yeah, you just got to hope that when you buy a box of boosters that you pull a couple of cards that are rare enough that you can trade in for store credit to make up for that.
Oh, I know, sir. I've been playing this game a long time.
Yeah. Let's teach my grandma to suck eggs here. But if you follow the NerdVsWorld Instagram account, you'll see pictures from the Hide and Geek comic shop in Worcester, where I've spent most of the last 3 months just hanging out playing Magic.
Sweet.
And we started decorating the store the other day with the hanging mobiles of the sky ships from the
I saw those pictures.
the steampunk-inspired world of Kaladesh, which is the home plane of Chandra.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, I'll be talking more about that on the Hide and Geek podcast with Cy Cooper, who runs the Hide and Geek comic shop in Worcester.
Because we're doing more podcasts.
We're doing more podcasts. More podcasts going to the network. Actually, we should probably just say that, shouldn't we? Like, we have got quite a few podcasts on our network.
Yeah, we have. Yeah.
And it's not just us talking different things, different shows. There's different people doing different shows.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got the Wonky Gamer guys, which I've been on one episode, but I think they're up to episode 12 they just released.
Yeah, the latest one is No Man's Sky, Weapons Mass Destruction, and Deus Ex, I believe. So that's up on the Wonky Smash. Check that out when you have time. Add that to your feeds. Yeah,
indeed. And then we've got the Starburst Bookworm podcast that we're hosting for them.
Brave New Words.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, not the Bookworm podcast. That's a different one. Yeah, it's Brave New Words. With Ed Fortune et al.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's weird. We seem to be collecting new shows, and then you've got a couple that are ongoing now as well.
Yeah, hopefully we'll have the Hide and Geek podcast joining the network soon, and hopefully the guys from Games Quest and Stevium will be doing their board game podcast. We'll be putting that out. So yeah, the Monkey Spanner is your
interesting times.
Is your number one location for
nerdy podcasts,
nerd culture podcasts.
Awesome.
Yeah. And when you're not listening to podcasts on the Monkey Spanner, you should be watching the US TV shows. It's an awkward segue, but
Brendan's segue of the week.
So it's almost that time of year again. It's like we're a week away from it. I have a few dates and a few shows for you. So if you're watching in the US or if you're watching in the UK and you're going to your usual sources for streaming,
for educational purposes only.
Yep, here are the dates for the shows to look out for. So, returning on the 14th of September, which is this Wednesday.
Or Wednesday just gone, if you're listening to this.
Shit,
on Friday when it comes out.
This is where it gets really...
Or it could be
weird.
Wednesday many months in the past.
Oh, that's all that temporal shit.
Depending on when you are now listening to this.
Yeah. So, the fixed point in time is Wednesday the 14th of September.
Which may or may not be in your past, present, future or alternative universe.
The show is Blind Spot, so take it or leave it really, guys.
Do you know what? I didn't even finish season 1 of Blind Spot. I enjoyed it up to a certain point, and then I just switched off. I don't know why, and I just never went back to it. At some point I'll go and watch it, because it was alright. It was a good show, I enjoyed it, but I never got around to watching the end of season 1. So I don't know whether there was a cliffhanger. If there was, it was going to be totally lost on me.
You're not alone. I don't think many people did. I'm not sure how it got renewed. Okay, after that then, Monday the 19th of September sees the return of The Big Bang Theory, Gotham and Lucifer.
Now, one of those three I'm really interested in.
Just the one?
Mm.
Lucifer?
Yeah,
yeah,
just Lucifer.
Okay, I'm well up for Gotham.
You see, I was never sold on season 1. I've watched some of season 2, and I'm still not sold on it.
Season 2 really sold it for me. I think they might have shot the load a little bit too fast by introducing Court of the Owls at the end of season 2. I think that's a little bit too soon.
Okay.
But there's some interesting questions to tie up, like who was the other Bruce Wayne, the long-haired Bruce Wayne from the finale. That is very obviously not of this plane, this particular universe. Yeah,
you can get a resounding meh from me.
Wow. Yeah, and then all the inmates from Arkham that have escaped. Fish Mooney has her powers of manipulation, and yeah, no, I'm well up for it.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, it must just be that because I didn't stick with season 1 and I tried season 2 and I didn't stick with.
Well, you know exactly where I stood with season 1.
No, indeed.
I fucking hated season 1.
Yeah.
I went back to it just for the Joker episode. Hated what they did with it, but oddly was really, really pissed off when they killed that guy in season 2.
I didn't see that far.
I'm fairly sure he's back, and I like how they've kind of done it, because Doctor Strange was running his experiments at Arkham, and he was bringing people back and wiping their memories and replacing them with different memories. And he had the guy playing the Joker, he had him back, that character, and he was implanting his brain with Alice in Wonderland and the craziness of that. And I kind of think actually that really works nicely as an origin story for the Joker. And if he becomes main cast member again for season 3, I'm excited to see where it goes.
Cool.
They've recast the lass who played Poison Ivy with an older actress, so she's going to be more prominent in this season, and one of the enemies is going to be the Mad Hatter, so I think it's going to go in a quite different way.
Okay.
And I'm looking forward to it. I think season 2 for me turned it round.
Fair play.
Big Bang Theory, we've got to be approaching the end of that, I think, at some point.
There's nowhere else for it to go.
Yeah.
There hasn't been for seasons.
Well, I didn't like the start of last season. It did get me back towards the end.
Some of it was, I think some of the episodes last season were funnier than it has been for a while.
But some of it was pretty phoned in. But it's an old season now.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, it's not Supernatural. Supernatural's in season 12 now and going strong still.
Yeah.
But Big Bang Theory kind of seems way. And Lucifer, of course, his mother.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
Oh yeah, I'm loving that show. That show's awesome.
More of that, please.
Yeah.
And cross it over with Preacher. That would be awesome. Thank you.
That would be really cool. Yeah, I'd go for that. Which they could do, because Amazon puts them both out exclusively in the UK.
Indeed.
Ooh, yeah, let's make that happen. Let's make that happen. Because Lucifer's one of those shows which is...
And then Constantine, just saying.
Come on, Amazon. Netflix don't want it, you can take it. Be the CW of online shows. Yeah, because this was one of those shows which feels like it could almost cross over into the darkness of Preacher, but just doesn't quite. Just holds back.
Yeah. Well, because apparently there's some. Is it Trisha Helfer's coming in next season?
Yeah, she's playing his mother.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then on to Tuesday the 20th of September for your premiere times for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., NCIS New Orleans, and Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Be interested to see where they're going with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. now after the summer of civil wars and things.
And the introduction of Ghost Rider in this series. Yeah. And Daisy is off on her own, as far as we know. How long for is anybody's guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's definitely been kind of hunted, I guess, by S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yes.
Yeah. And then Thursday the 22nd, this is a favourite of ours here, The Blacklist returns.
Blacklist, bring it on! Love that show.
Yeah. So you were telling me about the spin-off at the last episode.
Blacklist Redemption, I think it's called.
And that's just going to be Tom.
That airs, I think that airs starting January, I think it is. And it's Tom and his mum, who they kind of backdoor piloted last season.
During the finale.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Friday 23rd is The Exorcist.
Mm-hmm.
We mentioned that briefly last time out. That's when it gets its premiere. Then we have on Saturday the 24th the return of Rebels, Star Wars Rebels.
Mm-hmm.
So finally get to answer the question: does Ahsoka live? If you're at the Ahsoka Untold Stories panel at Rogue One, you know what Dave Filoni said. And it's been reported, but there'll be no spoilers here. You can make your own mind up.
I'm intrigued. You can tell me after the show.
Yeah. Yeah, well, all he said, really, and it's not a spoiler, all he said was that he doesn't usually cave to fan pressure when it comes to keeping characters alive.
Mm-hmm.
He said, we've seen the end of that particular arc, but she's not necessarily gone from Rebels.
Okay.
So everyone was just like, she's a Force Ghost. Yeah, she's going to be a Force Ghost. So we'll see how it plays out.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and then on the 25th, on the Sunday, it is the return of Once Upon a Time and the premiere of Son of Zorn.
Son of Zorn!
Which we got properly hyped for last time.
Yes.
Very much looking forward to that show. Just the mashup of live action and cartoon. And the... I guess really the 80s feel of He-Man.
Yes.
In a politically correct modern day setting.
Yes.
Yeah. It's on Fox, so, it's one of those niche properties that might not survive the Fox cult.
Well, but it's Fox,
however,
which also produced Family Guy, and,
That's the however. It does seem to...
An animated, kind of interesting comedy, it does seem to actually do well on Fox.
Well, you say that. Family Guy did get
it got cancelled, then it got brought back, and then it got brought back, and,
So we'll see, and I think The Simpsons and Family Guy return the same night as well.
Yep.
And then the only one I've got then on my list for September after that is on the 30th, and that is the premiere of Luke Cage on Netflix.
Yes, awesome.
So
are they releasing that weekly, or is it the whole season?
It's the whole season, I think.
Awesome.
Yeah, so
it's good.
It's the same as the others. You just sit down and binge the entire season in one go.
Sweet.
Yeah. The next episode will bring you the dates and times for October's shows.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all that's
Is Lethal Weapon premiering in October?
I haven't as far ahead as October. Let's check on September first.
It must be October then. Yeah, because that's on Fox. Now I'm going to do weekly recaps of that, I think, or weekly murderings of it, depending on how it goes. But I have the feeling that it's either going to be really, really good or really, really bad, because I'm a massive fan of the original films.
Yeah. Well, we said that last time, didn't we? About the spate of films being redone as TV shows.
Yep. And there's a fuck ton of them this year.
Yeah. I think Westworld debuts in the 1st week of October.
Yep.
But yeah, next episode we'll give you the October dates.
Yep.
So check back in for those dates for your diary. So, other than Lucifer, which one of those are you looking forward to? And the Blacklist, obviously.
Son of Zorn, definitely.
Yeah.
Lucifer, I think. I'm intrigued with The Exorcist. I want to see if it's any good.
Yeah.
I want to see if it stands up to something like Constantine.
Yeah.
It will be interesting to see how it stacks up against something like Constantine, having come from very different backgrounds.
Do we know if it's going to be set in a contemporary setting, or is it going to be...
I don't know.
the movie?
I actually don't know.
I don't know how The Exorcist would work modern day.
Because it's got some constraints that were very much of the time, so I don't know. It might be. And if it is a contemporary take, then I think the only way that they can go is to make it more kind of John Constantine-y, to actually make it relevant.
If you can't tell, we're pretty butthurt about Constantine getting canned. We've never got over it. It's just never got.
That's because it's not finished. Justice League Dark movie's happening and he's back doing the voice of Constantine in that.
Is he?
In the animated movie.
That's good. They're still pushing ahead with the live action version of that as well.
Well, I think that's in development hell since Guillermo del Toro has kind of backed off from it. But yeah, so I think there's going to be the animated version, and Matt Ryan's down for reprising Constantine in that. So he's not prepared to let go of it. We're not prepared to let go of it, so fucking do something about it.
Yeah.
We want more Constantine.
Okay, so there's another show.
What is it with chosen brown coats?
It's too soon, man. It's too soon.
Or would you say his is beige?
This is definitely beige.
So it's going to be the beige coats.
That's the beige coats. It's another show that I checked out recently, mainly because I'm a fan of Donald Glover, was Atlanta, which is his new series that he's written and he's starring in. Now, it doesn't fall in the sci-fi fantasy genre, it doesn't even fall in the procedural cult drama. It's a weird... It's an intriguing show. It's obviously trying something new, and this guy is fucking talented. If you've heard his stand-up or heard his rap music, he is exceptionally talented, and acting in this is phenomenal. But he does seem to be playing a down on his luck guy in the hood. Relationship falling apart. He's trying to make ends meet by taking on the management of a cousin who is a guy called Paperboy, a wannabe rap star, and the opening episode revolves around a gangland shooting. So it's very current, very present to what's actually happening in the States, and it's just the oddness of him in prison, awaiting bail, versus the actual guy who did the shooting enjoying life.
Yeah, okay.
It's a really weird sort of show. I'm not quite sure how to review it other than that. It's a challenging show, and it's very much speaking to issues that are clearly current amongst that demographic. And it's worth watching just for his performance alone. It's kind of a dramedy.
Okay.
So there's definite drama elements to it, but it also has a very, very dark humour underlying the whole thing.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just 2 episodes in, so I'm not really sure what to make of it now, but it's on my watch list. It's a show that is worth watching.
Cool.
It's the same sort of vein as Empire. Is it Empire I'm thinking of? Yeah, it's Empire I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Okay.
Worth checking out.
Sweet.
It's something a little different from our norm. But yeah, it's worth a watch.
But part of the norm is I've just finished Dark Matter season 2. So That was awesome.
Okay.
Really enjoyed that.
I need to check that one out as well.
Yeah, it's really good. We've watched both seasons this summer because we've never got around to watching it, and I think in the last couple of weeks we've watched the whole lot. And it's pretty cool. It's definitely a good companion show for Killjoys.
Okay.
I can see how that works because they're all back to back. So yeah, it's good fun.
Yeah, we often forget how shows are actually scheduled in the States because we're an on-demand generation. We
Indeed,
watch them whenever we want.
But yeah, Killjoys and Dark Matter are back-to-back sci-fi shows, and they're summer shows, so they've literally just finished.
Cool.
Like, Killjoys is great if you haven't seen that as well.
I haven't.
You should watch Killjoys. It's great. I don't know whether we've spoken about it before, but
you mentioned it briefly last time out, but I didn't really get.
Yeah, it's kind of it's a cross between Farscape and Firefly.
Okay. I'm sold.
It is really good.
Yeah, I'm sold. Well, you know me, I'm a sucker for anything that says, if you like Firefly, well, like this, I'm a sucker for.
Yeah, and I think you will. So they basically play a bunch of government-sanctioned bounty hunters.
Okay. Well, you tipped me off to the Blacklist, so I do trust your.
It's nowhere near as kind of epic and brilliant as the Blacklist. It's good, cheesy fun, is what Killjoys is. That's the bracket it falls into. It's good, amusing, kind of sci-fi romp.
Yeah. Speaking of good, amusing sci-fi romps, if you're on Instagram, you should be following the hashtag Spielberg in Brum.
Ah, yes, of course.
For all of the Ready Player One shots and photos.
Yeah.
Now, I'm looking at it, and we know someone who is an extra in it, and he's been sending photos and videos all week.
Yes.
It looks interesting. It looks to me, I get the impression that they are shooting Wade's escape from IOI. It's the post IOI thing. So when he's finally met up with H the first time, and they're off to try and find the end of the puzzle, the end of the quest, because that's what it seems to be. There's a car chase has been filmed apparently, and I'm trying to remember where in the book there's a big car chase, but I would say for dramatic license they could probably put one in there. And I've seen some photos of threads and the haptic gloves and suits and stuff, and the all night Oasis access places. So yeah, I'm intrigued, but you know me and Ready Player One.
Yeah, indeed. Always be wary until we've seen it.
I love that book so much that I am so nervous for the film, because I still don't think they've got the rights to War Games, because they're different studios. I'm not sure how they can do the film without War Games. So at the moment it's looking okay from the photos. We'll see how it gets cut together. I haven't seen the stacks yet. Our source on set said that there were the stacks, so they weren't all physical models. A couple of them were, but then most of it was green screen behind to fill out the rest of the stacks. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah,
cool.
Sci-fi romps. If you haven't read that book yet, by the way, go and read it. Read it now. Read it now before the hype becomes too real.
Or get Brendan to lend you a copy, and he'll eventually give you it, and he'll buy himself another one.
No shit. Like, I think I'd purchased that book like 11 to 12 times on Amazon. I lent my copy to someone. I lent it to you.
Hello!
I lent one of my first copies to you, and I had to buy another copy. And then a couple of Christmases ago, I think I bought a copy for a friend for their present, and they were reading it on Christmas, and they messaged me. And I was in Worcester, and my copy was in Oxford because I was back at my folks for Christmas. I was like, fuck. So I just
buy another copy.
Bought another copy and had it Amazon Prime to me. It was easier than driving back to Oxford. It's cheaper as well, like, you know.
Yeah,
it's a lot of petrol.
Yeah. £5 to get the book delivered the next day.
Fucking love that book. So yeah, Don't let me down, Spielberg.
Indeed. Well, and speaking of book film adaptations, Attack on Titan.
Aha.
The Blu-rays are out now.
Man, we are fucking nailing these segues today.
Yeah, so the Blu-rays are out of the films as part 1 and part 2 of the films, which I went to see tail end of last year in Bristol. At a double header, and they are awesome. They're fantastic films. Since then, my daughter's got very, very into anime and was chomping at the bit to see it. So I ordered them both, and we sat and we watched all of it last weekend. And not content to watch all of the films again, which she loved and totally agreed with me about some of the best characters in it. So if you want, you're more than welcome to borrow them, sir, and watch it because it's very, very cool. We all also decided to watch some more of the anime. Then we went out shopping and Megan bought the first volume of the manga, which we both read, and then the game was released on Steam, so then we spent the night playing Attack on Titan game as well. So it was literally how many different mediums can we consume Attack on Titan in one weekend? And the answer is all of them!
Oh man, like I've never watched it. Back when I was working at SAE, we had a work experience girl come in, and she was doing a media course, and she needed to know about podcasting and stuff. I was like, well, you know what, I do a bit of podcasting, so let's just record a podcast. She's like, well, what can I do it on? So what things do you like? And she loved Attack on Titan, so I was like, okay, well, let's do an Attack on Titan podcast. So we sat down and recorded, and she got into it. Explained the concept of the show to me, and she really enjoyed it. But yeah, I've never ever got around to watching it, and it's not one of those things that I've not had access to. Like,
no, it's there on Netflix.
There.
You could watch it.
But yeah, but I will have to check it out. I can't keep watching How I Met Your Mother repeats. Well, I can.
Well, you can.
I can, and I will.
This is what Megan used to do before she discovered anime, where she would watch How I Met Your Mother, get to the end, and start it at the beginning again.
Yeah, I fucking love that show as well. But cool.
So yes, there's lots of Attack on Titan out there. So if you are a fan at the moment, go and check out the Blu-rays of the live-action movies. They're phenomenal. They do utter justice to the ODM stuff in the anime. It looks amazing on screen, and there are some interesting answers to some whodunit questions from the anime, which I'm not sure whether they're going to go through with in season 2 or not. We'll have to see. So it does kind of go slightly further than we've gone in season 1 of the anime, and answers some other questions. So yeah, watch them, see what you think, and see whether you think that's what they're going to go down when season 2 finally gets to us, which I believe is slated for sometime in October for season 2 finally.
Cool.
Okay.
Right.
I think I just got a few shout outs,
Yeah.
I think, and then I think we're pretty much there for this week. Where are we? So, yes, Mr. Green, our mate Jonathan Green, is at it once again on Kickstarter. He's currently doing one called The Wicked Wizard of Oz, which is a new game book that he's working on, having just released Shakespeare versus Cthulhu and Alice's Nightmare in Wonderland. So he's got a whole bunch of kind of interesting twists on stuff coming out, and at the moment I think it's got something like 50% funded in its first week, so please go along, get involved. His stuff is awesome, so go check it out and back that. And then another interesting, more a bit of news than anything else, is B, who's one of the organisers of the sci-fi ball that we went to last year, the one in Southampton. I've got a new role with Starburst magazine as the Trekologist, so a new kind of Trek column going for Starburst. So yeah, have a look at that, and I'll put the links to that in the show notes as well.
Oh, Trekologist in the week of it's the anniversary of Star Trek.
It is, yes.
Yeah, it was a few days ago. Depends on when you listen to this, obviously, but it was...
Yes, at some point in the past, present, future.
Yeah. So I saw a meme on Facebook, actually, Star Trek related. It's stills from First Contact, where Picard's explaining how we don't have currency in the 24th century, and how humanity's evolved beyond that. And it took everything I had to not type onto it But you're wrong, Picard. You do have currency. You've got like gold pressed platinum. Like Cisco uses it to buy services from Quark all the time. Maybe he just lives in his own little world.
Maybe his subordinates kind of just don't tell him.
Don't tell him.
we all have money. He just doesn't get paid. He's been working with Starfleet for that long, and they just haven't paid him through a clerical error, so they made this shit up.
The whole thing's a conspiracy. Maybe the whole thing's maybe Starfleet's actually like this ultra-utilitarian fascist dictatorship, and just the elite have the money and everybody else doesn't. I don't know. Or maybe just like it's just the Ferengi that have the money and everyone has to deal with them at some point.
Or do you think it's just retconned? I don't know.
Yeah.
Glaring oversights. It's like, the Stardate problems with the original series.
Yeah. But, I was proud of myself for not rising to it and not correcting someone on the internet.
Someone on the internet is wrong.
Yeah. Oh well. Cool. Well, on that bombshell, I think we'll leave it for the week.
Yeah, I think that's about there. So yeah, we'll be at EGX. That's 2 weeks. It's not this weekend, it's next weekend.
Yeah, weekend after next.
Or it's the weekend of the 24th and 25th of September, depending at what point in history, present, future, parallel universe you're listening to the show in.
Yeah. Enjoy working that one out, folks. I think it's the 22nd to the 25th of September.
It's something like that. Yeah.
So we will be knocking around.
We're at the NEC in Birmingham. We'll be around all weekend. So.
Just follow NerdVsWorld on Twitter for the EGX tags. Follow the Instagram. We'll be
there nerding out and playing new awesomeness.
Yeah, nerding out hard. Yeah. Well, that's all I got.
Me too.
Cool. Well, until next time, I've been Brendan.
I've been Spindles.
Thank you for listening, and take care and be excellent to each other. Oh, I fucked it up again, didn't I?
You did. It's fine.
Okay. Thanks all for listening. I've been Brendan.
I've been Spindles.
And until next time, take care and be excellent to each other.
And I'm not editing that out, don't you?
Yeah.